what the fuck is up with 18 to 25-year-olds right now, you guys?
Hi, Gen Z here, and let me tell you, it baffles me that people will look at the last 10 to 20 years and then look at Gen Z and be like, I wonder what's wrong with them, as if it doesn't directly correspond with each other. So let me connect a couple dots for you and tell you my life story. I'm Gen Z, I'm 22 years old, I was born in the year 2000, meaning when I was 1 year old, 9/11 happened. Now, our generation is literally based on the fact that we are the first generation to not remember 9/11, but that doesn't mean it didn't affect us severely. Yeah, 9/11 happened in 2001, but it also basically happened every year afterwards because the older generation was so obsessed with remembering the trauma and the lives lost and the tragedy of the entire thing, which is a fine way to deal with your emotions. However, I remember being in first grade in 2006 and being forced to sit down every single September and watch people jump out of burning buildings, people on fire, planes crashing into buildings, literal murder being witnessed live on television. I was 6 years old. Not even to mention a year before that, in 2005, when I was 5 years old, Hurricane Katrina hit. So again, before any of my generation knew how to even spell our names, we knew the world was a horrible place and we could die at any moment. But don't worry, because 2 years later, in 2007, the iPhone came out, and technology was advancing at such a fast rate that we couldn't put restrictions or regulations on it. Meaning little 7-year-old me with her iPhone downloaded a funny haha app and saw someone literally get decapitated. At the age of 7. And then the 2008 recession hit, and I remember my parents talking about when I got my license, literally 8 years down the road, we probably wouldn't be able to get me a car because we wouldn't be able to pay for the gas. So already at the age of 8, my financial bar was on the floor. And then in middle school, Obama became president, and we were told to stop worrying about everything because everything was finally gonna be fine. You know, besides for the dozens of mass shootings that happened on a yearly basis. And then in 2016, when my generation was finally old enough to understand what politics were, we watched Donald Trump become president. And all that anxiety that we had shoved in the back of our brain for the last 8 years came flooding back. So in 2018, when the world was crumbling around us, I had to figure out what FAFSA was, and I had to sign away $90,000 of money that I did not have because the older generation told me that was the only way to become financially responsible. So I went to college. I graduated college in 2019. I went into the workforce, and 5 months later, a global pandemic hit. So here my generation is, living paycheck to paycheck in the beginning of yet another recession with an accumulative billions of dollars worth of student loan debt, with people 3 times our age trying to run the government to the ground. What's wrong with us? What's wrong with you for not being more freaked out about this situation?